Welcome to Lost American History Tales. I'm your host, Your Name. And today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and unsolved stories in American history, the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. Let's set the scene for a story that has haunted historians for centuries. In the late 1500s, England was a nation with big ambitions. Queen Elizabeth I sat on the throne, a powerful and clever monarch. She watched as Spain, her great enemy, grew rich and powerful from its colonies in the Americas. Sir Walter Raleigh stepped forward. He was the Queen's favourite, a poet, a soldier and an explorer. He received a royal charter to colonise remote lands. The objective? Establish a permanent English presence. A base to launch raids, a source of riches, and a way to contest Spanish sea power. Captains returned with glowing reports of Virginia, a place they called a paradise. The first attempt to colonize Roanoke Island in 1585 was not a family affair. It was a military expedition led by Ralph Lane. The English were soldiers, not farmers. They arrived too late to plant crops for the winter. Relations with local tribes like the Croatoan quickly soured, culminating in an attack and the killing of Chief Wingina. In 1586, Sir Francis Drake appeared and offered to take the beleaguered colonists back to England. Exhausted, hungry, they accepted. The first English colony attempt had ended in complete failure. Raleigh was not ready to give up. This time he planned differently. Not just soldiers, but families, men, women, children, farmers, craftsmen, labourers. In 1587, about 117 colonists set sail for a new start. Hopeful faces looked toward the horizon. Their leader was John White, an artist and mapmaker who had been part of the first expedition. But the ship's pilot, Simon Fernandez, refused to sail them to the Chesapeake and forced them ashore at the site of the failed 1585 settlement. A terrible start. They repaired the old buildings, tried to re-establish friendly contact with the Croatoan people, and did their best to make a life. The first English child was born there, Virginia Dare, a symbol of hope. But tragedy struck. George Howe was found dead, shot with 16 arrows. The colonists realized they were isolated and vulnerable. Their supplies were running dangerously low as winter approached. Their survival depended on help. Though reluctant, his daughter Eleanor and newborn granddaughter remained. They chose John White to return to England for supplies. He and the colonists agreed. Carve their destination into a post if they left, and a Maltese cross above it if they left under distress. At the end of August 1587, John White boarded the ship and set sail for England, promising to return as soon as possible. White arrived to find England in crisis. The Spanish Armada was assembling. All available ships were commandeered. He petitioned the Queen and Raleigh, pleading for rescue, but his pleas were lost in the emergency. He was forced to wait. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years slipped by before White could secure passage back. In 1590, he hired space on a privateering expedition, a roundabout, profit-driven journey that delayed his return. The voyage included raids and diversions. Months were lost to profit-seeking captains and bad weather. Finally, in August 1590, almost exactly 3 years after he left, John White's ship dropped anchor off Roanoke Island. As they neared, they saw smoke rising from the woods, a hopeful sign, perhaps a signal. They called and sang familiar songs. Only the wind and the waves answered. They landed and walked up to the settlement site. Their worst fears were confirmed. The entire colony was gone. Houses had been dismantled neatly. There were no signs of battle, no bodies, no graves, only a silence. John White searched desperately and found one word carved into the main post, Croatoan, but no Maltese cross, no sign they had left under duress. White found his chests opened, maps spoiled by rain, books torn and scattered, evidence someone had been there. Footprints suggested a departure, but they led nowhere visible. The scene was of an orderly departure, not a massacre. Women's clothing, children's toys, and everyday items were left behind, as though a family simply walked away. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, also the name of a friendly tribe led by Manteo. This seemed like a clear message. He searched for the agreed distress sign, a Maltese cross. but found none. That absence changed everything. White begged to sail to Croatoan Island, but a storm and a captain's refusal forced the rescue attempt to stop. The storm broke anchor chains and drove the ship away. Over White's frantic protests, the captain turned back. He had been so close, robbed of the chance to find his daughter and the colonists. He would never return. John White died years later, never knowing the fate of Virginia Dare or the colony he had led. The disappearance faded into legend, the carved word Croatoan, a haunting final message. The silence that followed was absolute. The lack of any definitive answer made it a mystery for all time. Archaeologists continue to search on Roanoke and Hatteras Island for evidence, European burials, house foundations, artifacts that would tell the truth. But shifting sands and time have buried many clues. The truth remains stubbornly hidden. Over the centuries, countless theories have been proposed. The most likely explanation: they moved to Croatoan Island and slowly assimilated with local tribes, intermarrying and adopting new lives. Others suggest a hostile attack wiped them out. Burned remains and conflict narratives fuel this idea. Some argue they tried to sail away in small craft and were lost to the Atlantic. Disease, crop failure or starvation remain plausible causes too. Later explorers reported hearing tales of fair-skinned, light-eyed people among native communities. Intriguing, but inconclusive. Archaeological digs have found tantalizing hints, but no definitive proof linking remains or houses conclusively to the Roanoke colonists. Records are fragmented, maps and letters give pieces, but not the full picture. The story endures because it has no ending. It taps into our deepest fears of vanishing without a trace. It captivates historians, students and the public. A historical black hole that invites speculation. From the plausible to the fantastic, our imaginations rush to fill the void. What happened to the people of Roanoke? That question remains a whisper on the wind, a mystery we may never fully solve. Yet archaeologists continue to search. Every shard and post hole brings us one step closer to the truth. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe for more lost American history tales. Until next time, keep asking the questions history leaves behind. Have you ever wondered about the untold stories of American history, the tales that got lost in the sands of time? Our past is a treasure trove of stories, a rich tapestry woven with threads of events, people and places, yet so many of these threads remain hidden, forgotten or simply overlooked. Today, we're going to take a step off the well-trodden path of history and venture into the shadows to uncover some of these lost tales. Imagine a book of history, a hefty tome filled with the familiar narratives of Columbus, the Founding Fathers and the Civil War. Now think of a second book, less polished, less complete, but equally fascinating. This is the book of forgotten tales, stories that didn't make it into the official narrative, yet they are captivating and revealing in their own ways. In this hidden book you won't find the usual heroes and villains, battles and treaties. Instead, you'll discover tales of ordinary people who lived extraordinary lives, of mysteries that still baffle historians, of cultures and civilizations that have vanished without a trace. These are the stories that don't get the spotlight, but they are just as enthralling, just as significant in shaping the land we know as America. As we delve into these forgotten tales, we'll encounter a world that's both familiar and strange, a world that's a reflection of our past, yet also a mirror to our present. We'll explore the unknown, the overlooked, the enigmatic. We'll confront the mysteries that still linger, the questions that remain unanswered. So buckle up for a journey through time, a voyage into the uncharted territories of history. We're not just going to recount the past, we're going to rediscover it, to see it in a new light, to find meaning in the forgotten, and to celebrate the richness and diversity of our shared heritage. Today, we'll dive into some of these forgotten stories, starting with the intriguing tale of the lost colony of Roanoke. In 1587, an English settlement was established on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina. But when the settlement's leader, John White, returned from England 3 years later, the colony had vanished. This is the tale of the lost colony of Roanoke, a story that has intrigued historians for centuries. The colony was established under the guidance of Sir Walter Raleigh, an explorer entrusted by Queen Elizabeth I to establish a permanent English settlement in the New World. 115 men, women and children sailed across the Atlantic, brimming with hopes and dreams of a new life. Their journey led them to Roanoke Island, a sliver of land in what is now known as North Carolina. Under the leadership of Governor John White, the colonists began to carve out their existence. They built homes, planted crops, and started to familiarize themselves with their new surroundings. However, the colony soon faced numerous challenges. They grappled with shortages of supplies, harsh weather, and tense relations with the indigenous tribes. Realizing the gravity of the situation, White decided to return to England to seek help. As fate would have it, his return was delayed by the outbreak of the Anglo-Spanish War. It was not until 3 whole years later that White was able to return to Roanoke. But when he did, he was greeted by an eerie silence. The colony he left bustling with life was now deserted. The homes were dismantled, and the only trace of the settlers was the word Croatoan carved onto a wooden post. The fate of the Roanoke settlers remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Despite numerous investigations and theories, no definitive evidence has ever been found to explain their disappearance. Were they victims of a Spanish attack? Did they succumb to disease or starvation? Or did they merge with a local indigenous tribe? But what could have happened to these settlers? What could erase an entire colony? As we delve into the forgotten tales of American history, we'll try to unravel the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. The mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke has baffled historians for centuries. The sudden disappearance of over 100 settlers from the Roanoke Island in the late 16th century without leaving behind any trace or hint of their fate has become one of the most intriguing, unsolved mysteries in American history. What happened to the settlers? Did they simply vanish into thin air? Or were they wiped out by some unknown catastrophic event? These are questions that continue to haunt us to this day. Despite extensive research and numerous archaeological excavations, no definitive evidence has ever been found to explain what happened to the colonists. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a post of the fort, and the letters CRO etched onto a nearby tree. But what did these cryptic messages mean? Were they a desperate call for help or a clue pointing towards their new destination? The truth remains shrouded in mystery. Some historians speculate that the colonists, faced with harsh conditions and dwindling resources, decided to abandon the settlement and merge with the local Native American tribes. Others theorize that they fell victim to a deadly disease or were massacred in an attack by hostile tribes or Spanish invaders. But without solid evidence, these theories remain just that, theories. The fate of the lost colony of Roanoke remains an enigma, a ghost story from the past that continues to captivate our imagination. It serves as a stark reminder of the harsh realities faced by the early settlers and the immense challenges they had to overcome in their quest to build a new life in the New World. So the mystery remains. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Until we find definitive proof, all we can do is speculate and wonder. Over time, several theories have been proposed to explain this enigma. Numerous theories have emerged over the years about what happened to the lost colony. The mystery of Roanoke, America's first English colony, has puzzled historians and archaeologists alike for centuries. The settlers who once thrived there vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a single cryptic clue, the word Croatoan, carved into a tree. One of the most prevalent theories is that the settlers were absorbed into the local Croatoan tribe. This idea arises from the fact that the Croatoans were known to be friendly towards the settlers. Coupled with the cryptic Croatoan message left behind, it's easy to see why this theory holds weight. The settlers could have sought refuge with the tribe during tough times, gradually becoming a part of their society. Another theory points towards the Spanish, who were known for their aggressive attempts to colonize America. Did they attack the Roanoke settlers, wiping out the colony? It's a possibility, given the geopolitical tensions of the time. However, there's no concrete evidence to back this up, leaving it as mere speculation. A third theory suggests a deadly disease could have decimated the settlers. With no knowledge of New World diseases, the settlers would have been particularly vulnerable. An epidemic could have swept through the colony, taking everyone before help could arrive. And of course, there's always the possibility of a combination of these theories. Perhaps the settlers sought refuge with the Croatoans due to an approaching Spanish fleet or an outbreak of disease, or maybe they were captured by the Spanish, only to escape and seek shelter with the Croatoans. Each of these theories has its merits, but none provide a definitive answer. They all hinge on speculation, circumstantial evidence, and educated guesses. The harsh reality is that we may never know what truly happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Yet, despite these theories, the definitive truth remains elusive. The mystery of Roanoke is a poignant reminder of our past's fragility and the countless stories lost in the sands of time. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a tree. This enigmatic inscription has intrigued historians for centuries, serving as a tantalizing hint to the fate of the lost colony of Roanoke. The word Croatoan was the name of an island south of Roanoke, as well as the Native American tribe who inhabited it. But what does it truly signify in the context of the vanished settlers? Some believe that the word was a distress signal, an urgent message scrawled by the settlers as they were forced to flee their homes. Others theorize it was a deliberate marker, left by the colonists to indicate their new location to anyone who might come searching. Yet, despite extensive exploration and excavation on Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras, no solid evidence of the Roanoke settlers has ever been unearthed. Could the word Croatoan instead be a symbol of peaceful integration? Some historians propose that the colonists, faced with the harsh realities of life in the New World, chose to join the Croatoan tribe. This theory is supported by accounts of later settlers who reported seeing Native Americans with European characteristics. Yet another perspective suggests that Croatoan was a reference to a powerful spirit in the tribe's mythology, possibly invoked by the settlers in a time of desperation or crisis. Despite the numerous theories, the true meaning of Croatoan remains shrouded in mystery. Each interpretation of this single word paints a different picture of the colonists' fate, showing us that history is often as much about the questions as it is about the answers. The tale of the lost colony of Roanoke remains one of the most haunting and captivating lost tales of American history. Have you ever wondered about the untold stories that shaped American history? In the vast tapestry of America's past, there are countless threads that, when pulled, unravel tales that are as fascinating as they are mysterious. These are the stories that didn't make it into our textbooks, the narratives that slipped through the cracks of time. Yet they hold profound insights into the diverse heritage that makes up the United States. These are the lost tales of American history, the forgotten chapters that continue to intrigue and inspire historians, archaeologists, and explorers to this day. Each tale is a puzzle waiting to be pieced together, a mystery yearning to be solved. They whisper of vanished colonies, unexplained disappearances, and hidden treasures. They speak of the resilience of the human spirit, the thirst for discovery, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. Understanding these tales is akin to unearthing hidden treasures. They provide us with a richer, deeper understanding of the history of America, painting a more nuanced picture of the struggles, the triumphs, and the indomitable spirit that shaped this great nation. They allow us to appreciate the layers of history that have been laid down over centuries, each one adding to the complex and fascinating story that is America. As we delve into these lost tales, we're not just uncovering forgotten stories. We are rediscovering the unknown chapters of our past, bringing them to light, giving them the recognition they deserve. We are acknowledging the parts of our history that have been overlooked, and in doing so, we are honoring those who came before us, whose stories were lost in the sands of time. Today we delve into one of the most intriguing of these tales, the lost colony of Roanoke. It's a tale that has baffled historians for centuries, a mystery that continues to captivate and confound. As we journey into this lost chapter of American history, let's remember that each tale we uncover adds another piece to the puzzle, another layer to our understanding of our collective past. The tale of Roanoke is a story shrouded in mystery and intrigue. It's a tale that begins in the late 16th century, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. England, eager to establish a foothold in the New World, dispatched a group of settlers across the Atlantic. Their destination, Roanoke Island, located off the coast of what is now North Carolina. The man chosen to oversee this venture was Sir Walter Raleigh, although he himself never set foot on the colony. The first expedition, led by Ralph Lane in 1585, struggled with scarce resources and strained relations with the native tribes. However, they managed to survive, providing vital information about the New World back to England. Returning to England for supplies, Lane's group left behind a smaller team to maintain the English claim. However, when he returned in 1587, the fort was deserted. This, though, was only the beginning of the mystery. That same year, another group of settlers arrived, this time led by John White, an artist and friend of Raleigh. They found Roanoke abandoned, but decided to stay. White returned to England for supplies, leaving behind his daughter, son-in-law and granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. White's return to Roanoke was delayed by the Spanish Armada's attack on England. When he finally returned in 1590, 3 years after his departure, he found the colony deserted. The only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a post and crow scratched into a tree. All the houses had been dismantled, suggesting a planned departure. But where did they go? What happened to White's family and the other settlers? But then something baffling happened. The entire colony vanished. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Was it disease, conflict, or something more sinister that led to their disappearance? As we delve deeper into this story, we'll explore the theories and speculations that continue to fuel the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. In 1590, Governor John White returned to Roanoke to find the colony deserted. It was a sight that chilled him to his core. This was the very place he had left 3 years earlier, a thriving colony of over 100 men, women and children. Now, it was as if they had vanished into thin air. The story of their disappearance begins with White's departure in 1587. He had left the colony to secure much-needed supplies from England. But due to a series of unfortunate events, including an impending war with Spain, he was unable to return until 3 years later. When White finally stepped foot on Roanoke Island once again, he found the settlement eerily abandoned. The houses were dismantled with no sign of a struggle or hurried departure. It was as if the colonists had simply decided to pack up and leave. But where had they gone? And why had they left? In his search for answers, White discovered a single cryptic clue. Carved into a wooden post was the word Croatoan. It was a puzzling message that offered more questions than answers. White knew of a nearby island by that name, inhabited by a Native American tribe friendly to the English. But bad weather and a lack of resources forced him to abandon his search, leaving the mystery of the Croatoan message unsolved. Over the centuries, countless theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists. Some suggest they were killed or abducted, others that they assimilated into local Native American tribes. Yet, despite exhaustive investigations, no physical evidence of the colonists' fate has ever been found. The fate of the colonists remains a mystery to this day. Their story, a haunting tale of exploration and disappearance, continues to captivate the imagination of historians and mystery lovers alike. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the past holds secrets that refuse to be unearthed, secrets that linger on, whispering to us from the shadows of history. So what could have happened to the lost colonists of Roanoke? Let's delve into the enigma, exploring the various theories that have been proposed over the years. One plausible speculation suggests that the colonists might have integrated with the Native American tribes. The evidence? Words from the colonist language found in the dialects of some tribes. But does this really mean they survived and assimilated, Or is it a mere linguistic coincidence? Another theory surmises a more dreadful fate. What if the Spanish, who were vying for control in the New World, discovered the English colony and launched an attack? The Spanish were known to have a presence in the area and weren't exactly fond of their English counterparts. Could they have annihilated the colony, leaving no trace behind? Then there's the theory that presents a different kind of adventure. Could the colonists have decided to sail off in search of a better place, perhaps? They were, after all, living in a harsh and unfamiliar environment. Did they attempt a desperate sea voyage only to meet their end in the treacherous Atlantic? Or perhaps did they move inland, away from the coast, to escape the difficulties of their initial settlement? Could they have established a new colony, lost in the vast expanses of the American wilderness, waiting to be discovered? The theories are as plentiful as they are diverse. Some are grounded in evidence, some in conjecture, but all are intriguing in their own right. They paint a picture of human resilience, of desperate struggle, of exploration and the thirst for a better life. They invite us to imagine a different end to the tale of Roanoke, one that isn't just about a lost colony, but a testament to the indomitable human spirit. And yet, despite all these speculations, the truth remains elusive. The fate of the lost colonists of Roanoke is a riddle that continues to perplex historians and captivate our imaginations. The theories are many, but the truth remains elusive. Decades of research and investigation have gone into unraveling this mystery. In the quest for answers, modern archaeologists have relentlessly explored new areas around Roanoke Island, guided by the whispers of the past and the allure of the unknown. Their diligent efforts have not been in vain. They've stumbled upon intriguing artifacts, pieces of a jigsaw puzzle lost in time. Pottery shards, tools, even remnants of structures, each discovery a tantalizing hint at the lives of the vanished colonists. Yet these finds, as significant as they are, only add more layers to the enigma. They paint a picture of a thriving settlement abruptly abandoned. But why? What could have driven these settlers to leave their homes? Was it conflict, disease, or something else entirely? Some of these relics suggest interactions with the Native American tribes, hinting at possible alliances or confrontations. Others point towards the colonists' desperate struggle for survival in a harsh new world. Each artifact, each piece of evidence, takes us one step closer to the truth, yet the final answer remains just out of reach. The work of these modern-day detectives of history is far from over. They continue to delve deeper into the mystery, armed with advanced technology, and an unwavering determination to shed light on this long-forgotten chapter of American history. Yet, the definitive answer to what happened to the lost colonists still eludes us. The tale of Roanoke, like the echoes of the past, continues to haunt us, a reminder of the enduring allure of the unknown. The lost colony of Roanoke continues to baffle historians and archaeologists alike. Despite centuries of speculation and research, the fate of those early settlers remains shrouded in mystery. Their story, etched in the annals of American history, is a testament to the enigmatic nature of the past. As we grapple with the unknown, we are reminded of the countless tales yet to be fully told. As we continue to seek answers, the tale of Roanoke serves as a reminder of the fascinating yet often forgotten chapters of American history.